FXBG Public Radio is entertainment for adults by adults, and the views and opinions expressed on this show do not reflect upon the sponsors or FXBG Public Radio. For additional information, please refer to the United States Bill of Rights. Stand warned. Speaking of juvenile fantasies, I wanted to grow up to be Batman. And would you believe that I actually made a costume and ran around my neighborhood at one point? Only a couple times. With a costume, mask, cape, and everything. And I'd run around my neighborhood, and because we didn't have a facade on a 3-story building to stand over and look over things, so I'd just get on like a tree stump, and I'd stand there with my cape over my face like this, and I'd say stuff like, the night is my friend. The darkness is mine. I'm Batman. Justice for evildoers. Justice to evildoers. And, I'm a little bit like Hank Venture in that regard. And so, I mean, it even developed to the point, it was like, I'm going to, of all the superheroes that existed, it's like, yeah, everyone has those Superman fantasies. Everyone has those Spider-Man fantasies. Absolutely. If you read comic books, you have those fantasies. But you understand that you cannot be Superman. You are not Kryptonian. You're not going to wake up one day and find some crystal humming to you, whistling some song. Just can't get that song out of my head until you find the crystal. And the crystal says to you, take me to the North Pole and throw me in the ice. You're not going to get that. However, Batman can exist. He can exist. For a couple weeks, at most. But he could be real. And so you even start thinking as a kid, is like, oh, I'm reading this Batman story, and it tells me, is like what he did. Now, what he did to become Batman is way different in the comic books than it's expressed in like Batman Begins. Although Batman Begins is kind of sums it up. But I mean, if you talk about like all the things that Batman did, or Bruce Wayne did before Batman, you're talking about him first completing high school. He went to college, graduated with honors. And while he's at college, he's, training his body to physical perfection. He's working out every day and then hitting the books, and working out every day and then hitting the books. It's like, in everything he's studying is like, I got to study everything. I got to understand everything, because sooner or later, one of these things is going to become the difference between life and death. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do all that. Then I hit algebra. And I was like, no, I don't think I could be Batman. I don't think I could be Batman because this shit is hard. I hate math. I'm not very good at math at all. And I think that's reason number one. I wouldn't make a good Batman. And so, I mean, it took me just a couple of days. It's like, before I start running around in my neighborhood in a Batman costume, maybe I should, train a little bit. Get myself ready in case somebody says, hey, creepy kid, what are you doing back there? Could happen. I'm wondering if I can go grab Pinot. Or somebody could. Anyway. So here's the point. It's like at a certain level you realize, it's like, I cannot be Batman. And so you start to think, it's like, maybe I can pursue a career in law enforcement. Now, like I said before, the same skills that Batman needs to be Batman, you need to be a police officer, oddly enough. You could just set that down, I'll pour it. Or, okay, give me a refill, hold on. I will drink it all, bro. God bless you. So at some point, you're like, I want to be a police officer. That's the way to go. But the same skills apply for Batman. Oh, portable refills on the Pinot. Thank you, sir. EK for the win. That being said, and so you start to realize, is like, if I'm not cut out to be Batman, maybe I'm not cut out to be a cop. However, Batman appealed to me because the idea of punishing the evil, the idea of beating them physically with your fists, appealed to me in the juvenile sense. In the juvenile sense that I want to make the world a better place. Every kid at some point sees himself as a white hat, as a white knight. And there's no racial connotation there. It's like, I want to fight for truth, justice, and the American way, as it were. And so you start to realize around that age, when you start fantasizing, like, I could be Batman, then you start realizing the flaws that'll get you killed 2 weeks into being Batman. It's like your entire life, you're 30 years old. If you follow the entire Batman story, it's like went to college, got doctorates and shit like that. Then he joined a criminal organization, went all over the world. No, wait. Then he went and trained in martial arts with different masters all over the world, and then learned all their masteries. And went among the criminals to see how they live for a while. And so, but realistically, Bruce Wayne was started being Batman at about 29 years of age and hasn't aged a day since then. Now, here's the point. It's like at some point you realize it's like I cannot be Batman because of my flaws, because I am flawed. I don't have the discipline to do all that stuff. Then you start to realize like maybe I don't even have the character to be a police officer, to let somebody spit on me and not me pull out my gun immediately and shoot them, because I have my own anger issues. And so a lot of the development of coming to age is like it involves a story of, for me anyway, it involves a story of realizing like sometimes you're not cut out for the job that you want. It's easy to want to be Superman and go around righting all the world's wrongs, but until you can realize it's like, hey, sometimes you can be wrong too, Superman. Then you start to realize like maybe people shouldn't have Superman level power. And so the only real power we have is Batman. And it's unreasonable to think that I'm going to sleep 4 hours a night, and, be working out, doing cardio, going to classes, and then in the evenings, standing on the rooftops, looking down at the city just to go, the night is mine. I'm Batman. I mean, seriously, when you think about the waste of time, it's like in every single one of those Batman movies, the Christian Bale Batman movies, when Batman would just disappear, all right? He would just appear and disappear. And it's like, ooh, that's very spooky how Batman does that. But at the beginning of The Dark Knight, he sneaks into the bank, ninja style. All right, that shit takes time. Sneaks in the bank to have ninja style, into the vault, ninja style. Nobody sees him, and then he could just pop up and it's like, these are the bills that I gave you, right? And have this short conversation with Jim Gordon, and then ninja style sneak back out. Do you think that is an effective use of Batman's time? That's why in the old Adam West series, Batman would just walk in the front door with the press snapping pictures, and the cops are like, Batman, right this way. That makes more sense. Oddly enough, it's the only way that series makes any sense in many ways. Anyway, so here's the truth. I'm not cut out to be Batman. I'm not cut out to be a cop. Oh well, what can you do? So you got to find something else to do with your life, and here I am.